What's up, guys? I'm BTC. Jeff Kaplan has confirmed that we already know who Hero 27 is. The question is, which one? You may not have realized it, but Moira has been in the game for quite a while already. And the announcement for the character came even earlier than that, all the way back at BlizzCon. So that means the official announcement of Hero 27 is coming up pretty fast. So the obvious question is, who's it gonna be? Well, Jeff Kaplan has already told us a little bit of information about him. At least he gave us a critical point of information. Recently, he was at something called the Fun and Serious Game Festival. This happened at the very end of last year. Now, Moira had already been available and out for a little while, so he was now talking about the next Hero 27. And he talked about how Moira was hinted at in the Doomfist comic, and that other characters tend to always get hinted at in the previous stuff like that. There may be little tidbits in maps or in videos and animations, alt comics, all that sort of stuff. On Hero 27, he said, let's just leave it at that. A surprise that has perhaps been hinted at. Now, of course, anyone who knows how Blizzard, the Overwatch development team, or Jeff Kaplan knows how they operate, this is a giant flag, a siren that, yes, they absolutely have shown us who Hero 27 is. They're just not going to come out and tell us specifically until they're ready. So we're going to break it down, and I'm going to go over the list of all the potential candidates for Hero 27. The first one is going to be Sanjay. This character was first revealed back in the Symmetra comics, and he works for the same Vishkar organization. Although, recently it was revealed that he is also a very high-ranking member of Talon. He works right alongside Doomfist, Reaper, Moira, and the rest of them. Sanjay was right alongside Moira during the Doomfist comic, sitting at that big table. And then later on in Moira's origin video, it also showed him sitting at that big table. Now, on the back screen, there shows what appears to be a character in some kind of armor. And it has been theorized that if Sanjay is on the battlefield, then he's probably going to use a lot of hard light constructs, just like Symmetra does. But he's probably going to be more of a defensive or a tank character, in which case that armor character might actually be him. The only hesitation that I have about Sanjay being Hero 27 is that it seems a little too obvious. So Moira was in the Doomfist comic, and now Sanjay is making prominent appearances in the Moira stuff, so it just seems like it's feeding a little too much into one another. It seems like it might be a little too obvious. Next up on the list is Lau. He is one of the 6 founding members of Overwatch, and yet ever since the game has been released, we haven't seen or really heard anything about the character. We just know tiny bits. The fact that he was a founding member, and really that's about it. The other 5 founding members have been a major part of the game. Gabriel Reyes, who is Reaper, Jack Morrison, Soldier 76, Reinhardt, Torbjorn, and even Ana was added very quickly after the game was released. The only one that we're missing is Lau, and again, we really don't know too much about him. Back when Ana was being added to the game, this photograph was included as part of the Ana origin story video. Now, here you can clearly see that Farah is still a child, Mercy is a student at medical school. Most of the characters are easy to recognize, except there's an unknown one on the left and on the far right. We still have absolutely no idea who either of these are. At first, the one on the left was thought to be Lau, but later at the San Diego Comic-Con, this was confirmed that it was not Lau. So these 2 characters are part of Overwatch in the early days. We have absolutely no idea who they are. And Lau, one of the founding members, also, we have no idea where he is, or what he's up to, or even what he looks like. And because Lau is one of the founding members of Overwatch, I can't see Blizzard leaving him out of the game for that much longer. The next one is Hakeem, and most people probably have no idea who that is, but he's a very high up agent in Talon who had placed a bounty on Ana back when people didn't actually know that it was Ana. It seems pretty clear that Blizzard is trying to create two sides in order to have a better conflict within the game. So you have Overwatch on one side, they need to have something to oppose them on the other. And you can't just keep having Reaper and Widowmaker over and over again, which is why they added Doomfist and Moira, and it seems like they could be trying to build up the talent organization even more. Could Hakeem be the next one? Maybe. For right now, it's just a name and no face. The next candidate is Sven. He was in Torbjorn's comic, and he showed up in a gigantic mech, causing quite a bit of damage. Now, we're never told that he's a member of Talon, but he seems to operate in a very kind of Talon way. And what I mean by that is Talon isn't evil for the sake of being evil. For example, Moira just wants to advance her scientific knowledge, and Talon is the best place for that. Doomfist wants to improve humanity as a whole, and he believes that conflict is the best way to do that. Sombra wants to unravel that giant global mastermind conspiracy thing, and again, Talon is the organization that allows her to do that. With Sven, as we see in the comic, he wants to kind of stabilize the world, and so Sven uses a giant mech to destroy and significantly weaken a country that had been causing a lot of problems. So he even says it is a dangerous, increasingly unpredictable player on the global stage, and I just crushed it. The campaign was a demonstration. My ultimate weapon in the hands of a responsible government will save countless lives. So his ultimate goal is to save people, but he does it in a very Talon-minded way. Another thing that lends a little more credibility to something like Sven being the next character is we haven't gotten any new defense characters. And if we do, Sven would almost certainly be in that category. For the next possible candidate, we have to travel to the moon, and that is going to be on the Horizon Lunar Colony with the test subject of Hammond. So there was 9 different test subjects in the lunar colony. Now, there was some kind of a disaster that ended up occurring, and all but 2 of the test subjects were accounted for. Winston, we know, escaped back to Earth, but Hammond and his location is unknown. Hammond's official designation was Specimen 8, and it was noted that he was a lot smaller than all of the others. The other specimens being gorillas, it's believed that Hammond may be a different kind of primate, or maybe a different kind of animal altogether. Just prior to the disaster on the lunar colony, it was noted that Hammond had escaped from his cage, and his whereabouts were unknown. Most of the other scientists didn't pay much heed to it, though. It's believed that he might have gone into the ventilation system, which is why there was strange noises coming from it. Now, because they never specifically tell us what kind of animal Hammond is, this means that Blizzard could make him into anything they want. And they also could have his testing affect him differently than it affected Winston. Where Winston became an incredibly strong super genius, they could make Hammond into something else. The next couple are kind of more of the obvious ones. They've gotten a lot of attention, and I feel that these kind of break the rules a little bit. When Jeff Kaplan was saying that the next hero was hinted at, I don't think he meant that, oh, we're going to have massive amounts of information about him. So, of course, this first one is going to be Maximilian. He shows up in the Doomfist comics, and he is a major part of the Talon organization. Now, clearly, this character is very important within the story of Overwatch, but because he has been so front and center in recent comics and animations and stuff, I don't really feel like he's going to be the next hero. The next one is Bridget, and this is Torbjorn's daughter. She has shown up in Reinhardt's comic and also in Reinhardt's animation. So this character, again, kind of suffers from the same thing that Maximilian has, where it's been very much front and center, and it wasn't exactly hinted at. Now, it's very likely that Bridget would have similar abilities to Torbjorn, since, of course, you know, it's a father-daughter relationship, and Bridget was also seen kind of repairing and improving on Reinhardt's gear, armor, and equipment. So, if Bridget was added to the game, it would also very much likely be kind of a defense-oriented character. But again, if Blizzard is trying to do this whole opposites thing with Overwatch and Talon, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to add Bridget, because her and Torbjorn would obviously be on the same team. The next one is the Junker Queen. And for right now, she is nothing more than a voice in a map and a poster on the wall. Other than the fact that she runs Junkertown and absolutely hates Junkrat and Roadhog, we really don't know too much about the character. Previously, when asked about this, Blizzard responded saying that they hadn't had any concept of the character yet beyond just the voice in the map. While Junkrat and Roadhog really have very little to do with the whole Overwatch versus Talon thing, it's possible that Blizzard could try to introduce these kind of extra little conflicts throughout the story, and in this case, Junkrat Roadhog versus Junkertown and the Junker Queen is definitely one that a lot of people want to see. And of course, you can't talk about new characters without bringing up this sheet. So this wasn't shown in any comics or animation or anything like that. This was shown at a BlizzCon, basically to just give people an idea of what the early concepts of Overwatch were going to be. You can see some recognizable names and faces, although some things have changed. A few of the characters here have been in high demand, namely Mama Hog. So it's possible that something like this could be added, although I don't think it would necessarily be what Jeff Kaplan was talking about when he said it was hinted at, because this really wasn't hinted at anything. This was just kind of shown to people at BlizzCon. And the last possible candidate is, of course, the best. And I cannot talk about a new character without bringing up this Jetpack Cat. This was shown off also at BlizzCon, but unfortunately, I don't think it really meets the criteria of being the hinted at thing, just like a bunch of the other ones here. And that's because Blizzard specifically told us about this character in the early concepts, and they showed us some of this imagery here. So while it would be incredibly awesome for Jetpack Cat to be Hero 27, I don't think it's the one that he was hinting at. So what character would you like to see as hero number 27? Let me know down in the comments. Also, don't forget to check out my Discord server. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter. The links for that stuff is down below. Thanks for watching. Remember, always blame the controller, because it's never your fault. Also, special thanks to all my Patreon supporters for helping to make this all possible. If you'd like to see what kind of cool rewards you can get for supporting the channel, check the links on screen and down below.